Because you're gonna have to relax a little bit. So apparently I was like, the bonds of steel are closed for business, my friend. That's an exit ramp. Yeah. And I think that's just kind of instinct, you know? Especially if you've been arrested a couple of times, you are really conscious about what's going on behind you, you know? It's like shower time, that's all right, I'm only in here a month, I'll wait till I go home. Maybe if I smell like shit, nobody will fuck with me, you know? Just honing my survival skills. So my doctor tells me, he goes, just take a deep breath and exhale the whole way, you know? So I'm like, yeah, and you know what he tells me? Feels good. I'm like, damn, doc. I don't want to be weird or anything, but kind of did feel good. I don't know what the hell you're doing back there, but you just sent a tingle through my balls. Come on, one more time. Give me another one there, Papa Doc. I'd like a second opinion. They tell you get your prostate checked once a year. I've been going in once a month. I'm not taking any chances down yonder. You guys had a long day in fucking Mexico, I can tell. There's a little bit of a low energy level. We're just fucking tired, man. Goddamn, we've already seen like 15 shows of you fucking people, you know. It's just, holy crap. I didn't even know what was going on. I saw the lights on, figured I'd come in, sit down, lights went off, you came up. I didn't know it was fucking comedy show. I was on my way to bed. I went on vacation in June with my dad and two of my brothers. We went on a fishing trip up to the Northwest Territories in Canada. And the last part of this trip, you guys Canadian? Hey, you ever been to the Territories? No. I've never met a fucking Canadian. Even the camp owners up there are fucking Americans. Canadians go, I'm not going up there. There's nothing up there. And that's why I'm fucking going. But anyway, the last part of this trip is a 60-minute float plane ride into the out camp. And float planes are very small, compact. It's just asshole to elbow. And like a month before we left, my dad had surgery, and he's taking these meds that make him pee constantly, so he can't hold his fluids at all. But when my mom's not there to tell him what to do, my dad does whatever the fuck he wants. So the morning of this flight, he's drinking coffee and milk and oranges. I'm like, Dad, quit drinking fluids. You can't pee for like an hour. And he goes, oh, I'll be fine. I'll pee before I go. And he does. And then 20 minutes of this flight, he's like, uh-oh. So now I have to slam a bottle of Gatorade. So he has a bottle to pee in. And, yeah, and I have to hold it for him. The bottle. Let me specify. I'm holding the bottle. I just want to make sure we know where we're at. I'm holding the bottle for him. We actually have a new rule now. If you can't hold your own dick when you pee, you don't have to go fishing with us anymore. So I'm like, all right, I will do this for you, dude, but you got to make sure you don't pee. Dad, put it inside the bottle. You know, it's a wide-mouthed Gatorade bottle. Shouldn't put his whole thing in there. But instead, he's trying to aim this old man urine stream. And I don't know if you've ever seen an 80-year-old man pee, but it's really sporadic. There's a lot of stopping and starting. I'm trying to catch it out of midair. And this camp that we stayed in had hard buildings, but no running water, so we had to bathe in the lake, which was a complete drag, because sometimes the ice up there doesn't melt till the middle of June, so the water's like 40 degrees. It's pretty cold. Try to bathe in 40-degree water. I don't mean like shrinkage cold. I mean your dick actually jumps off your body and swims back to shore kind of cold. And that is how a dick swims, by the way. Because he has no real means of propulsion or steerage. It's just kind of a shimmy and a shake. And to climb up onto a sun-warmed rock. I'll wait for you over here, bro. Little one-eyed wink. And all four of us snore. So every night it was this huge race to be the drunkest, the fastest, to be the first one to pass out. And I don't know what it is about old men and the way they snore, but that is some brutal shit going on. there's all this gurgling and gasping and choking and wheezing, and then he just quits breathing. And when you lay in the cabin, you can hear all that. Dad, what? Jesus, leave. And he goes right back to sleep because the snore doesn't bother my dad at all because he's almost completely deaf too. Except he doesn't think so. He thinks he can hear. So he still tries to participate in conversations. And the night before we left, my brother and I were over at his house, had to get the rest of his gear together. He's got his new Cardinals hat on, but he's got the back cinched all the way to the very smallest setting, so it sits on top of his head instead of around it. I'm like, Dad, you look ridiculous. Let me fix your hat for you. And he looks right at me and goes, because I don't like macaroni and cheese. Oh. Did you hear what I said? He's like, oh yeah, your sister sold that dog. And my mom was sitting at the kitchen table watching this conversation. She goes, oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I don't even talk to him anymore. I can't hear a thing. 2 weeks ago, the smoke detector in the kitchen goes off. Radar here gets up and jiggles the toilet handle. Oh boy, Mikey. And last July, I went on vacation with like 7 of my friends. One of my buddies turned 50. And we rented a van and took a road trip to St. Louis down to Fort Lauderdale. And we were so excited, man. We were going to relive one of our old spring breaks. We were going to party like madmen and rock and roll and tear it up. And we didn't even come close. Man, we found out on the drive down how different shit was going to be. You know, because in the old days, we'd load up the car and load up the cooler full of beer and drive straight through St. Louis, Fort Lauderdale, 27 hours nonstop. This time took us 3 fucking days to get to Florida. God, it was like being in the car with a bunch of pregnant women. You know? I'm used to being on the road. I can burn a tank of gas without stopping. But these guys don't spend any time in the car. So every 15 minutes, it's like, hey, I gotta pee again. Well, if we're gonna stop, I wanna poop. My stomach hurts. Now let's walk around. I can't feel my feet. Let's just get a hotel room. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We've been on the road 2 days and we're still in fucking Georgia. Jesus. And it was fun, you know, we had a good vacation, it was a good time. And I'll tell you what, we kept up with the kids, drinking-wise, pretty good, you know, during the day. But if we drank before noon every night by 10 o'clock, we didn't even make it through the news. Like, come on, you guys, there's a wet t-shirt contest downstairs. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've seen titties, I'm going to bed. I mean, if they run up and down the hallway, I'll open the door, but yeah, I'm not going anywhere. That's a sad day in a man's life, too, when he realizes he's not getting out of bed to look at titties, you know. And men are obsessed with breasts. It's half the reason we get out of bed every day. It's like, ooh, well, maybe I'll see some titties today. And I like the Florida beaches, you know, it's just around Miami, and there's so many more guys walking around wearing those little butt floss bathing suits, you know. It's like they're smuggling grapes in from Cuba or something. I just want to go, hey man, you want to wear a thong? Fine, but do us all a favor and shave your ass. Jesus Christ, it looks like somebody put a suit on a coconut. And I don't need that at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm up at 7 because I was in bed at 10. I'm well rested. Next year I go down, I'm getting me a fucking metal detector. Morning, ladies. And one of my friends I went with his cousin lives in Lauderdale. He's got like 4 boats. He took us out there, he's got one of those cigarette boats. It's like a 38-foot Scarab. And I don't know if you guys have ever been on a cigarette boat, but unless you're running blow out of Colombia, there is no reason whatsoever to go 90 miles an hour in a fucking boat. You ever tried to drink beer in a boat going 90 miles an hour? It's like, I had like 25 beers, I never even pee. And then our friend Scott gets up and he's like, hey man, I bet you I can ski behind this thing. Yeah, and Ronnie, the guy that owns the boat's like, no man, you can't. I mean, this boat's not really designed to pull skiers. And we're all like, shut up, let him do it. So we go back and get a ski, and we got like 100 yards of rope up behind this boat, you know? I mean, he's like a dot on the horizon. You just see a little head rising with the swells. And then we hear that, and Ronnie just throttles this thing down, and this boat just blows out of the water. And like 5 seconds later, that ski handle comes flying over the top of the boat. Fucking arms hanging off of it. Man, we go back to get on a boat, and he was treading water like I've never seen in my entire life. It's just pure legs. It's like a froth. And we got to scoop him out with a net, because you can't grab onto anything. And then the next day, we went skiing on the Intercoastal. The guy, he's got a regular ski boat. And I tried something called a boom bar. It's a training tool supposed to teach you how to water ski barefooted. And I've been skiing 30-something years. You know, I used to run slalom and ski jump and all that shit. And I never went barefooting because I never saw anybody doing it that looked like they were having a good fucking time. Ever. But I'm the best skier. We're drinking. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. Now what it is, it's like this 10-foot pole that clamps onto the side of the boat and it sticks out over the water. Now the idea is you get in the water and hang on this pole with both hands, boat takes off and it pulls you up on your stomach. Now when you're hanging on this thing, you flip over on your back, curl your feet up, scoot back around your butt, stand up, voila, you're skiing barefooted. And yeah, it works great on paper. My trip was different. Because I'm in the water hanging on this thing, and the boat takes off and it pulls me up on my stomach. Now I realized two things pretty much right away. Number one, my shorts are gone. Is this right? So I'm hanging on this thing, belly down, wearing nothing but a ski vest. But I realized item number two, and that is that the water is, gently battering my testicles at pert near 40 miles an hour. So I'm hanging on this thing with no shorts on, the water's which in retrospect is probably how them fuckers got all stretched out in the first place. And these guys are all yelling at me from the boat going, flip over, flip over! So I flip over onto my back. And I curl my feet up and scoot back around on my butt. And now, man, I got a whole new set of problems. Because somehow I swung my legs up on top of the pole instead of underneath it, so I can't get my feet down in the water and I'm kind of stuck. And not a very comfortable position to be in without any shorts on. And I must have moved wrong for a second, because this huge jet of water enters me. Yeah. Now don't get me wrong, it was cleansing, just tasted weird, you know? So I finally get my feet underneath this pole and try to stand up. Now, if you don't stand with your feet on exactly the right angle on the water, it just snaps your legs up behind you really, really fast, and bam, ends up slapping the twins on the water like 140. So I let go of this thing, and I'm just tumbling across the water, and these guys came back to me in the boat, like, hey, you going again? And I'm like, no, I'm not going again. That's it, I'm done. And no one else even tried. So yeah, apparently seeing me with balls swelled up like grapefruits hanging mid-thigh, like, you know what, I'll just float on the raft. And these guys I went with, I've known most of them since we were in high school. And we were kind of a wild group, you know, we all worked in the bar and restaurant industry, and everybody had motorcycles, and we did a lot of drugs and shit. And the earliest anybody got married was Mikey, and he was like 38 when he got married, first one. So for guys in our 50s, everybody still has fairly young kids. And Louie, the one that turned 50, tells us on the ride back home that now that he's turned 50, he's no longer going to masturbate because he doesn't want to have a heart attack and die. Well, why would you even associate those two? He goes, I don't want the kids to find me that way. Yeah, thanks for putting that into my subconscious. I never thought about that before. One more thing you have to worry about when pleasuring yourself, having a heart attack and dying, having the kids kick the door down in the morning, find Daddy in there with his dead dick in his hand. Quite frankly, I've got enough on my plate. Speaking of which, any guys watch free porn? Come on. Nobody? Nobody? One guy? I guess the rest of you are paying for it? Look, man, it's free. It's free. It's amazing how much free porn's out there. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Because it's so, you know, the youth today have no idea how easy they got it with their access to porn. So back in the old days, you had to go to a movie theater to see porno. It was always in a shitty neighborhood where you could get shanked on the way out. But you went anyway so you could watch ugly people doing it. Because the 70s porn stars were not a good-looking group of people, you know. Everybody was like overweight and heavy, and everybody had fucking big bushes up to the belly button, man. Men and women. It was a bushy decade, the 70s were, man. Oh my God. If you would have seen a shaved bush back then, you would have probably thought, well, she's probably doing chemo or something. Because you just didn't see that shit back in the days. I love that analogy. Sometimes people go, I don't know if I should laugh at that or not. That's really... I just can't believe how much porn's out there, you know. Especially all these amateur sites. I can't believe how many people are taping themselves having sex and then putting it on the internet for the entire planet to see. Hey man, here's a clip of me banging the old lady on the kitchen table. And it is. Some dude from Little Rock taking it to his wife right there in the Formica. And you know it's true amateur porn, because if you look in the background, you can see their 2-year-old walking around like, Bobby got poopy pants. And on some of like the professional amateur sites, they interview the girls before the scenes, and they're always so adorable. Like, hi, my name's Tiffany. I'm really, really shy. Oh my God, I've never done anything like this before. I'm so shy. Oh my God, I'm just so shy. And 2 minutes later, she's got a dick in his hand, like, Holy shit, Tiff. You really overcame that shyness in a heartbeat. Good for you, honey. You are no longer a wallflower. God love you. Thanks for coming. And all the porn scenes now end in butt sex. I don't understand the obsession with the butt, you know? You know, front side of a woman is just... You know, men are born out of there and we spend the rest of our lives trying to get the fuck back in, you know? That's all you really need to say. That's all you really need to say about that. It's the reason we have art and music and literature, and everything that's beautiful and creative on the planet is inspired by the coochie. Nothing's inspired by the back door. You know why? It's industrial. That's why we poop out of there. It's the body's sewer system. Why the fuck you want to put your Jimmy John into the treatment plant for? Plus they always make it look so easy. Flip over, boom, put it in. It doesn't work that way. There's a whole lot of prep work that goes into that particular activity.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. You try that shit in real life, you're gonna get an elbow right to the fucking temple. Bah! God damn it, sorry, baby. Whew. obviously you were not as drunk as I thought you were. Gave me a subdural hematoma. I don't know why the U.S. is a nation. We are so uptight about sex. I don't get it, you know? We're so offended by nudity and fornication. Guy puts a boob in his mouth and it's pornographic. It's offensive. It's obscene. If he cuts it off with a sword, it's Tuesday night on Fox. We get to that set of priorities. I think most people enjoy sex, you know? I don't think there's ever been a human being that's had an orgasm on, hey, you know what, didn't care for it. That's why I always laugh when people compare stuff to sex. Like, oh my God, this is better than sex. I'm like, it's a brownie. Yeah, I've had some good brownies over the years. I never had one that dropped in my knees and made me cry. It's better than sex. Well, you need to fuck somebody else. One of you's doing it wrong. I ran into a friend of mine's kid at Mizzou a couple of months ago, did a show up there and went and had a beer. And he's so fun, he's like 22 and he thinks he's such a stud. You know, he's like, hey, oh man, he's like, I can still have sex 2 or 3 times a night. And I'm like, well, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it 3 fucking times, you know what I'm saying? When you're done with her, if you've done her right, she doesn't want anything to fucking do with you anymore, baby. You want some more? I'll just fucking go, you're done. Alright. He's going back to his 2nd, 3rd shift at work. I'm downstairs with a piece of cake watching Sports Center. Who's right, who's wrong? Hey, I got a CD and a DVD available after the show. If you guys are interested. If not, you don't have to fucking hide from me. You can walk by and blow me off. It's not the first time. I wrote a book too. I got a book out. I only got a couple of copies with me. It's called Court Jester, The Making of a Comedian. It's all about my rise and struggle to the lower middle class. Oh, it's got some wingdings of a stories in there, so. Or if you want to do Spacebook or whatever that shit is, I got cards. Spacebook, my Spacebook page. Some married people? A lot of married people? Couple of you? Well, that took a while to get through to you, didn't it? That's it, all the enthusiasm I can generate. Well, here's something I found out interesting. If you've been married long enough, instances will arise where you will actually turn down sex, which I think something only a married guy would do, you know. Single guy doesn't turn down sex because you don't know when you're getting laid again. You know? And the same is true when you're married, but your odds are a lot better. You know? Because once you're married, you don't have to go out on the hunt. Your prey is already locked up in the house, you know? Yeah, you don't have to go out and set traps or anything. But it happened during the hockey playoffs one year, you know? Like what she was doing getting horny on a Sunday afternoon is beyond me, but that's bullshit. Not on game day, you know the rules. So I'm downstairs watching the game and she comes down going, hey, I'm horny. I'm like, I'm in overtime. She goes, there's no way you're picking hockey over this. I'm gonna go upstairs and start. If I start without you, I'll finish without you. She'll always be there. Yeah. We're like 2 minutes later, she scores, yes! Well, now Daddy's ready for loving. I like to play my own porn music when I'm about ready to get a little sugar. I do it loud too, so she can hear me coming down the hall. The pizza boy is here for delivery. Baby, unlock the door. Come on, very funny. Made your point. I'm like,